Okay, all right. I think we can get started now and appreciate everybody joining. Very good evening. As rightly introduced, I'm working as a data analyst at the moment with around 20 years of experience. And welcome on board, everybody. I am glad to be part of this evening with all of you. Can you all confirm if you can hear me loud and clear? Maybe in the chat, you can say if you can hear me loud, clear, there are no disturbances, no noises, no background noise. In the chat, can you all confirm if you can hear me? All good. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for confirming, Muli. Thank you so much, Nagaveni, for confirming. Thank you all. Right. So as we start this wonderful evening, there are a few rules that we are going to set aside for ourselves, because what I believe is that if there are rules set up for ourselves, it makes our interaction really comfortable. We are around 60 people and the count is increasing. I am definitely hoping it's just 1 minute past 6 p.m. But I'm hoping more people to join. So what is important, you will all agree with me that it is very important to have a good interaction to understand the things, right? Everybody agrees with me. So first main rule, I mean, so much so I want to speak to each one of you. I want to hear from each one of you. You will agree with me, if there are 100 odd people speaking for 2 hours, it's going to become not a very good idea, right? I mean, everybody's talking and nobody is able to understand what the other people are talking. So what we are going to ensure is that as I'm sharing my screen and I'm talking to you, we are going to ensure that very important thing, guys. Please make sure that any questions that you have, anything that you want to ask, feel free to ask in the chat. I'll be keeping a very close eye on the chat and I will be answering your questions, right? You're not allowed to unmute yourself. I won't be able to hear you, but still that doesn't matter. You cannot communicate. Okay, we'll try to keep it a very communicative session. And I'm very sure just before, joining the session, joining the workshop today, you all have gone through the outline. You know what we are going to cover, what we are going to do for 2 hours, right? So the first thing, as I said, use the chat of the Zoom. I hope everybody is comfortable using the chat. You can use the chat, and I see another 20 people have joined now. So welcome on board, everybody who's joining, and ensure that whatever questions, doubts, concerns you have, put it in the chat. As we start our workshop now, just to give you a heads up, we will close the workshop at 8 o'clock, and somebody is doing some beautiful drawings. Okay. 8 p.m. we will be basically concluding. At 7 p.m. you will hear me stop talking. Okay. But that doesn't mean that the workshop is over. At 7 p.m. the team would like to interact with you. Somebody is really into beautiful drawings, and just, it doesn't distract anybody else. I think some accidental drawings are coming up. I'll just disable the annotations. Yeah, here we go. So at 7 p.m. the team will come, they'll introduce you, they'll talk to you, they'll speak to you about some good points. So be with us every single minute of this workshop. Very important. And around 10 minutes they will take to speak to you. I'll give you a short break, and then the latter part of the session is going to be all programming. Okay, this is a Python workshop, this is a Python programming. But just before we deep dive into understanding what Python is all about, we are going to do a bit of career counseling. Okay, so a bit of career counseling that we are going to do at the moment. And the document is Welcome to IT, right? So we are all welcoming, Skillslash family is welcoming you to the field of IT. And we are going to talk about the different fields in which we can either start our career or probably switch our career. Okay. So just before this, one question I have for all of you. I have one very good question for all of you. All those who are joining me today. Okay. All those who are joining me today in this workshop, if you are a student, please write down you're a student. If you're studying right now, but you really aspire to be in the part of IT or data analysis, you want to do that, If you're a student, start writing student. If you are a working professional, please write down working professional. Okay? Student or working professional. Or if you're not working, but you aspire to start working, write down not working. Not a student, not working. Okay, in the chat, please, everybody, please start pouring your inputs. Excellent. Some of you saying you're students, some of you saying you're working professionals, some of you saying not working at the moment, but really aspire to be a data analyst one day. Fantastic. Thank you so much for your suggestions, guys. A mixed crowd we have this evening, where many of you are students, the future of data analysis. Many of you really, really want to go into the field of IT, want to go into the field of data analysis. Many of you who are there in this session are really, really aspiring to be a part of the exploration of the data analyst role, maybe data engineer or data scientist. So thank you so much, everybody, for your suggestions and inputs. We are now going to talk about very quickly the different areas in which we can either start our career or switch our career. Soon after this career counseling, there are few things that I wanted to talk about. There is a brief description of the word model. We'll try to understand how a product actually gets built. And we are going to talk about what model actually means. Okay. Once we have covered that models concept, the next thing that we are going to work on is a very important thing, and that is the terminology around programming. We are going to talk about programs, algorithms, and all the good stuff. And soon after that, I'm going to give you before 7 p.m. few concepts, right? So that when you come back, you all are working on your exercises and you're doing programming. Okay. All the setup and everything I will guide. But yeah, I mean, you'll agree with me that if we start spending our time on the Python setup, it will take too much of time, right? So for today's session, I'll quickly walk you through the different setups that you have to do. And once you have done those setups with me in the class, you can start using the editor or the platform which I'll be using. But some of you who cannot install for any reason, nothing to worry. I'll be referring you to one online editor where you can do your programming. Okay, where you can all do your programming. So the first part of the session is about talking, understanding things. Last 30 to 40 minutes, we have to focus on programming, and I want everybody to program with me at that time. Okay. So all those who are interested, excited is the word actually. All those who are excited, write ready in the chat. 103 people, and the count is still increasing. Good job. Just write yes or ready in the chat. All those who are excited. Wow, excitement is in the air. I see so many people saying ready. Thank you so much, guys. Let's get started. So right in front of you are some doors. I call them doors, darwaza. They are some doors in front of you through which you can start your career in the field of IT or information technology or, data analysis, and all those who are here with me, we will keep our session very interactive. We'll talk about things because I know I am today sitting down with an intelligent bunch of people. I'm very sure the people who are with me are all intelligent. We can talk about things, right? Rather than me just explaining them. So guys, I'm very sure you would have heard of a terminology. You've heard of a role called as a developer. Who do you think is a developer? You'll agree with me that individual is somebody who's going to help you develop products, right? It could be web applications, it could be mobile applications, it could be desktop applications, but developer is somebody who's going to help build the applications, right? And if I want to go into the field of IT as a developer role, you will agree with me that programming is very important. That is what I need to know end to end. So what kind of languages are very widely recognized these days? Is Java, it's Python, C++, Visual C, C Sharp, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, the knowledge of the databases. So these are some of the things which definitely are going to help you if you are into the field of IT or you're doing data analysis also, right? And what we are going to do today is we are going to pick up one of the most important languages, everybody, and that most important language is Python. Okay. We will go to the next role of a tester. How many of you have heard of this role? And what do you think a tester does? Anybody who wants to answer? Let's keep the session going, interactive. Hurry up, everybody. In the chat, what do you think is the role of a developer, the tester? Excellent, very good. So tester is somebody who's going to help test the applications. You know, you built the product, you just cannot give it to the customer. You need to make sure that the product is properly tested. So who's going to help do that? None other than the tester. So tester is somebody who will help test the application, ensure it is working fine, it is working as per the expected results, and that is the end-to-end responsibility when it comes to a role of a tester. Again, manual testing, ISTQB, and automation testing are some of the things that you need to do, some of the technologies you should be acquainted with. The next role, the third role in our list, is the role of a business analyst. Now, who is a business analyst, everybody? Excellent. Some of you are answering. Some of you want to say that getting the inputs, checking the correctness of requirements. So see, the developer is the one who's going to build the applications. The tester is the one who's going to test the applications. You will agree with me that there needs to be someone who will tell the developer what to build and what to test, right? So business analyst is somebody who's going to bridge the gap between the customers and the company, the product building company, right? Or analysis company. So when it comes to business analyst, he or she is an individual who helps to ensure that the requirements are properly taken from customer, those requirements are documented properly, and then the product is developed, isn't it? And the next role is a role of a project manager. Now, that is another role probably years down the lane you can think about. Now, what is the main responsibility of a project manager? You might have heard this terminology, right? Excellent. So project manager is somebody who's going to do the resource management, managing people, right? Managing budget, right? Managing cost and managing the time, ensuring that everything is delivered on time. Very good. That's what the day-to-day responsibility of a project manager is. Good job. Good answers, everybody. Keep the momentum going. And then we have the role of a designer. You will agree with me that any application you are using, you need to have a very good design. So who's going to help get that good design? It's the designer. So somebody who's going to be taking care of the UI, the user interface, the user experience is now no other than the designer, right? Then the next role is a role of a support team. So support team is somebody who's going to support the product end to end, ensure that the product is working. When the customer is using the product, customer is happy and everything is working as per the expected results. And also ensuring that if the customer is facing any issues, those issues are resolved. Everybody's clear? Okay, now let me see if any questions anybody has. It's all answers in the chat. Anybody, any questions on this? Again, roles like data analysts, data engineers, data scientists, what do? They help us. They ensure that, you know, they are analyzing the data. How many of you agree with me that we live in the world of data? Data is everywhere, right? You go to a bank, you will have thousands and thousands of customers, their data. You go to a hospital, there are thousands and thousands and more than thousands patients, their data, right? You're working in a logistics domain where you're shipping the couriers from one place to other. You will agree with me, there is loads and loads of data. So data is every single place, right? So we need somebody who's going to help analyze that data, work on that data so that you can get some meaningful insights out of it. And that is how the data science has become one of the most promising careers across the globe, right? Now, just before I go ahead to the next slide and we start talking about terminologies related to programming and, and we start our coding, just wanted to highlight here that, and you'll all agree with me when I say that, any part of the globe you go, whether you are in Australia or India or America or US or France or any part of the globe you are, you will agree with me that the way you build a particular software, it's same. It all starts from getting requirements, understanding those requirements, do the designing part, get the prototypes ready, then do the development part, do the testing, and give the product to the customer. So you'll agree with me that it is a standard that we have been always following, right, across the globe. So time and again, we have been, we've been lucky to have some models. The terminology is model, MODEL. So we have this terminology of models, they have been guiding us how the product can be built. I'm not sure if you have heard about, but there are different models across the globe which we use for the product development, right? There's a model called waterfall. You can all read about it after the workshop. I'm going to give you anyway some homework. So this could be your first homework. Just start reading about this model, start getting an idea, how the products are built. And one such model, which is the waterfall model, the names come because of the shape of the model, tells us that we need to build a product by getting all the requirements, then doing all the designing, doing all the development, doing all the testing, and followed by the deployment, right? So that is what the waterfall model actually talks about. This model has been very successful and has given us n number of products in the market. So we've been able to build a lot of different products. So thanks to this model, guys, we have n number of banking applications, we have logistics applications, we have healthcare applications, which were built due to this model, right? But as the industry started to get more and more competitive, the waterfall model started to fail. And then another model which took birth was the agile model. So when it comes to agile, while waterfall says build the entire thing and deliver it to the customer, the agile model says that we need to build the product in part. Okay, so let's say if I have this circle representing a product, right? Rather than building just one part, the whole part, I'll build the first part, deliver to the customer, get the feedback, and then deliver the next, right? So that is how the idea of agile works. And you all agree with me, any kind of a game you are playing on your mobile phone or any kind of a product you are using, any application you're using, you will get continuous upgrades on those, right? And what are those upgrades? Those upgrades are the releases which are launched. So these are some of the jargons, these are some of the very commonly used terminologies these days which are used when it comes to agile, when it comes to the product development, when it comes to models. And that's how the product development happens across the globe. Okay, clear everybody? Now, slowly, we are going to deep dive into the next thing, and that is the terminology around programming. Again, I'm going to take a halt here. I want to ask you, how many of you are totally new to programming, never programmed before? So all those who have never programmed before, say no programming. Say no programming in the chat who have never done coding. First time if you're coding. Okay, there are many of us who have never programmed before. Okay, so it's going to be first time. So all those who are programming for the first time, let me tell you that this workshop is going to give you a very good understanding of how programming works. Okay, though you'll agree with me that the language Python is like an ocean. So it's not possible to, do every single thing in 2 hours. I can go on and on for 2 months. And even then at the end, I would say, oh, You know what? Python is not over yet. So if I cannot complete something in 2 months, you'll all be able to agree that 2 hours is less time for us, right? But what we are going to do is we are going to get a very good flavor of how the programming works, how the coding is done to achieve something. That is what we are going to do. And programming is all hands-on. It all comes with practice. It all comes with doing practical stuff, right? And that's why after this slide, when I introduce you to the different terminologies, we will start with coding. Okay. So let's look at these terminologies, everybody. These are the terminologies which I used for programming. Let's talk about them one by one. Right, Manu, you're right. You're saying Python coding is easy to learn. It's definitely. And why is it easy? I will explain that also. Okay. So everybody, at least you would have heard of this terminology called as program. What do you understand by program? What is your understanding? What do you mean by programs? Please put it in the chat. Excellent. Wonderful. I've got some answers worth the wait. So some of you are saying program is some set of instructions. Programs helps you to achieve something. Absolutely right. Program is nothing but some set of instructions which helps you to achieve something. Now, when we talk about program, as Nagasai says, this is set of instructions, how to perform a test. Manu says for telling a computer which task to perform. Arpita says this aims to perform or execute certain tasks or operations. Venkat says set of instructions. Hassan, very good. Ashutosh, correct. Akupali, this is correct. So it's kind of a line. It's kind of a set of lines that you write to achieve something. As a very simple example, everybody, let's say I want to print something on my output window. Okay, I wanted to just print something, display something. When you go for bowling, it displays the score on the LCD, right? There's a screen which tells you the score. You will agree with me that there is some set of instruction written behind it which helps you to achieve that. So printing something, displaying something, or maybe, a banking application, or maybe a space shuttle which NASA or ISRO is planning to launch, everything has a program. There are some set of instructions, which could be one single line of code, which could be millions lines of code, which is doing something. That is basically what is a program. Program is some set of instructions. After program, the next thing that comes into our mind, very, very important point, is algorithm. Now, what is an algorithm? What do we understand by the word algorithm? In the chat, everybody. Anybody wants to answer? What's an algorithm? Let me give you 30 seconds to answer this. Hurry up, everyone. Excellent. Got some answers in the chat. I've gone through them. Algorithm. Algorithm is nothing but some set of instructions, but written in simple, plain English. How many of you agree? See, there is a definite difference between a program and a algorithm. Excellent. Some more answers have come up. Good. So program is some set of instructions that you write down. When you come to algorithm, there are some steps which are written in plain English language. And these plain English language steps that you write down, that can be written in simple English language as well. How many of you agree? Right? Simple English language as well. So, for example, I want to make a cup of tea. In order to make a cup of tea, there are a few steps that I will follow. Those steps that I follow, that I can write down in simple English language, is nothing but an algorithm. Right? Take a pan, add water, add tea leaves, add sugar, milk, boil. There's nothing but some simple steps. Algorithms is the logic. Algorithm tells us how you should be writing or what should be the logic behind that particular program. When you all go to the bank and you want to withdraw money, you will agree with me that there is an algorithm there, right? There is a logic there. And what is the logic? So logic is some steps. What are those steps? They will check whether you are a valid customer. If you are a valid customer, why not? They will then check the balance. If you have sufficient balance, why not? The money can be given to you. So everyone, algorithm is some steps that you follow. In order to solve a particular problem statement, algorithm is some steps that you will follow. It is very, very important to write the program correctly. It's very important to write the program correctly. You'll all agree with me. Time has proved it, history has proved it, that if we are not writing programs properly, if there are errors in those programs, it can lead to disastrous result. So one primary thing that you have to focus is the syntax. The syntax is very important. And if you have heard of this terminology before, do you know what syntax means? Excellent. Some more answers have started coming up. Syntax means some set of rules that I have to follow. It's the grammar, it's the rules that I have to follow. So program is set of instructions. Algorithm is the set of steps. Syntax is the logic, the steps, that the basic structure. Some of you are putting grammar. Yes, correct. So let's say if I'm learning to speak English. If I'm speaking English and I speak English like this, I say, it is a boy, she is a boy, he is a girl. You will agree with me that the grammar is definitely bad in this, right? So nobody can say, I know how to speak proper English. Because I'm not following the grammar, I'm not following the proper syntax, the set of rules. And if I do not follow the syntax, that's not correct. I have to follow the syntax, everybody, isn't it? Syntax is some set of rules that I have to follow. And every language has its rules. Now, some of us in Manu, I think, or one of us said in this group that Python is one of the easiest language to pick up. Python is so easy that anybody can pick up Python language. Now, when you say a particular language is easy, right? What makes that language easy? What makes the language easy? Very good. The syntax. If the rules are simple, if the set of rules for that language is simple, that means that language is simple, isn't it? And if you are not following the syntax, everybody, it's the compiler which gives you the errors. For example, let's say I just wanted to, using Python, I wanted to print something. I open my editor and I try to write something here. I say print. And the moment I write print and I just write down test without following the syntax, without following the rules, you will agree with me, there is a red mark on the program. How many of you see the red mark? How many of you see the red mark on my program just below the test? It's just like a teacher. Just like a teacher. Like a teacher always, puts the marks on the paragraph. Similarly, like a teacher, this compiler is telling me, giving me some set of rules. Okay, everybody's clear? You can see the red mark, right? So what will happen if you do not follow the instructions? There will be an error. Who will give that error? Compiler. Okay, everybody's clear. Now, quickly, if you have any questions, put it in the chat. Anything which is not clear? Okay, excellent. I think there are no questions. Difference between interpreter. So again, a very good question. See, Chandu, the interpreter is the one which goes for the full program. Compiler will go line by line, and then there are a lot of other technicalities. They are doing the same thing, but in a different way. Okay, they do the same thing, but in a different way. So now, as we move ahead, you will all agree with me that before you do any kind of programming, you need a setup. Whether you are doing Python programming, whether you are doing Java programming or C++ programming, you would definitely need the setup, right? So today I'm going to guide you now how you can do the Python setup. It takes time. So if you want to do this setup with me, you can do it. Otherwise, we will continue on our exercises, the coding that we will do around 7:15. The coding when we start, we can do it also on an online editor. But for Python setup, guys, you will need Python. That is the first thing. And the second thing that you will need is an editor. In fact, any programming language when you're working, right? Take my word for it. You need always remember you need two things. The first thing you will need is the language. So here the language is Python. And the second thing you need is the editor. What is the editor? The editor is nothing but the place where we can write the program. It's a platform. We can write the set of instructions. We can write the program. And this is nothing but the language. Okay. Now, there are different types of editors which are available for Python. You can use Vim, you can use Emacs, you can use Jupyter. If you want to write this down, you can write it down, guys. Otherwise, don't worry. Towards the end of the session, I am going to put this in the chat anyways. So Vim, Emacs, Jupyter, then there is an editor which we will install together that is called JetBrains PyCharm. There is Google Colab, Anaconda. Okay, and so many different editors. But for our workshop today evening, we are going to do JetBrains PyCharm. Okay, and we'll install Python. Okay, in the chat, everybody, who all already have the Python installed on your system? Chandu, it is clear. Thank you for letting me know. Spider is another editor. IDLE is another, but Padmaja, IDLE is not a very good editor. It's a notepad kind of an editor. Okay. Okay. Now let us look at how the setup works. If you have the setup, then you need not do it. If you do not have the setup, you can definitely install Python. So in order to install Python, you can just type install Python. Very simple it is. This is the official website of Python, everybody, python.org, and you will go to downloads. Shall I put this link in the chat? Okay, I'll put this link in the chat. All of you click on it. Okay. Muskan, if you have it, dear, then you need not do anything. Okay, just wait for a minute. I have put this link multiple times in the chat. All of you click it once. Okay, and as you click on it, guys, do one thing. Click on this yellow button. When you click on download Python 3.11.3, you will see a file will get downloaded. Okay, so whichever location this file has got downloaded, you can just say, I think you'll see a file getting downloaded when you click on this button, right? And Python installation is very simple. All you have to do after this is just click on next, and finish. Open the file once it's downloaded. So sometimes, it might take 10 minutes, 15 minutes for the file to download. That's why I'm not very much worried about the setup. Okay, I'm worried about teaching you programming and we've got limited time. So it's fine. You can just, if you want to install, you can. Now click on the file, down this button, download the file, next, and finish. Then the other thing that we need is the JetBrains PyCharm. JetBrains PyCharm is another editor, very useful one it is. If you click on this link, let me give you the direct link, everybody. I'm going to put this link also in the chat. Okay, I'll do that multiple times so that absolutely no confusion. You can then click on the download button and you can see there are two versions. Go for the community edition because this one is free. You can go for the community one. Do not go for professional. 30-day trial is there. So for your learning purpose, we recommend you can do this. Again, when you click on this download button, a file will get downloaded. You do not have to select any other option. Just click on next, 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 and finish. That's it. So as I said, immediately you might not be able to install. It might happen that because of the network issues, your download part or your installation part might be little slow, which is okay. Excellent. Let's go ahead. So many of you might have now got the files downloaded. You can finish the setup later also. There's no rush. And for our training, you can pick up any online Python editor. Just search for online Python editor, and whichever you are comfortable with, click on any of these links. Probably I can give you one very quickly. Any of these editors, whichever you are comfortable with, guys, for now, so that you don't have to worry about the setup. Ashutosh, absolutely fine, no problem. I know this installations will take time. That is why for today's session, it's okay. You can use the online editor. Okay, let me put this link in the chat. This is the editor. Let's use this editor. Okay, easier one. It will take Mani Kumar. It will take time. It's not your fault. The files are bulky. So what I can promise you is once you have downloaded the Python file, okay, and once you have downloaded the JetBrains file, all you have to do is just next, 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 and finish. You will see that the setup is completed successfully. So if the setup is taking time, forget about it. We are not here to learn setup. We are here to learn programming. So everybody click on this editor, on this link that I've given it to you. Let me post it one more time. And all those who have opened it, write done in the chat. Hurry up, everyone. All those who have opened this editor and you see a window like this, please write done in the chat. Excellent. I can see a lot of enthusiasm. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And the time is running away. I just can't believe it's just running away today. Okay, all those who have opened it, you can continue your programming with me on that editor, on that online editor that I've given to you. But I myself in the class, in the workshop, I'm going to use the editor, which is JetBrains PyCharm editor. JetBrains PyCharm editor. Okay. And maybe after the workshop, as I said, this is going to give you a very good start. You can finish all your coding here with me. But after the class, once your setup is done, you can try to run and create your files on the new editor. That is the JetBrains PyCharm editor as well. Okay, sounds good, everybody? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're enjoying this workshop. Okay, fabulous. Good job. Thank you for all this excitement. Let's get started. Let's jump on to our first program. So today, what we are going to do is, I'll not say that we're going to do only basic stuff. No. My plan is to cover the printing part. My plan is to cover the user interactive part using Python. I want to do some selection statements, some loops, some kind of amazing stuff we are going to do together. And just before we do that, I'll be giving you concept. And I'll give you the concept in such a way that you will all be able to program yourself. That is the whole idea, guys. We focus on creating independent data analysts at Skillslash. That is the motto. No dependency. We want you to, start coding, start doing the stuff yourself. Get your hands dirty. Right. So the very first command, the very first function that I'm going to guide you today in Python is a command called as print. If I want to print something on the console, on the output window, I need to use a command called as print. How does it work? You can start the print and maybe you can write down anything you want. You can say Python is fun. Now I understand many of you are using online editor, right? So that's fine. I'll show you here also. As you load the screen, right, you will see this print command. So all you need to do is where hello world is written, just change it for now to Python is fun. Now all of you will agree with me, every input has an output, right? If this is the input and this is the output, you need to do some kind of a magic, maybe run the program or do some kind of a magic to get this output. How many of you agree? Many of you, right? So every single input has an output, but you have to run that. So in order to run this, what you will do, let me show it to you. You will just hit this run button and you will see the output. So guys, this is your input. Then you run this and this is your output. Similarly, if you are using a very good editor like JetBrains PyCharm, this is your input. In order to get the output, you will right click on run. Here we go. That's your output. Is this clear, everybody? Input and output. Now, all those who are able to, successfully get the output, can you write done in the chat? All those who have done this bit. Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay. Most of you have done it, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's do some programming on our own. So I hope everybody is able to see a document, right? The document has some exercises. And the first exercise says, write a Python program that prints your name, your student number, and your email address. I'm going to give you only 2 minutes, to finish this. Excellent, excellent. I can see some answers. Jaskirat, print will be small, right? P small. Everybody agrees with me. This is the output. This is the input. But remember, P will be small. Python is case sensitive language. Guys, remember this. See. Okay, but I'm very glad that all of you were able to do it. Good job. Okay, let's jump on to the next exercise. In the next exercise, we need to just print these lines as it is. Everybody, just print these lines. No calculations. Okay, please put your solution in the chat, everyone. I'm waiting. No calculations to be done, only print it. Okay, I see everybody's back now. So we got a bit of refreshment break after this. And now what we are going to do, everybody, is back to our programs. Now, once we are doing our programs, right, the inputs that I'm going to give you, you need to do the next assignment where you have to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in different lines. Different lines you should be able to print the 5 numbers. Those 5 numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you all solve this exercise and share your solutions? Meanwhile, I'll share my screen. The assignment is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gets printed in different lines. And after this, once you're comfortable with the print, we go on to the next concept. Okay, so I repeat, you need to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in different lines. Can we all try this, everybody, and put the solution in the chat? Okay, I think most of us have solved this exercise. Now that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you are connecting this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have to do it with spaces. Can we change this program, everybody, with spaces? Good job. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means with spaces it should come. So what will be my approach? I'll show it to you. I'll solve this program and show you. So that's the logic, guys. All you have to do is remember anything within the space is printed as it is. Anything, whenever you put something like this within the spaces, it gets printed as it is. Okay, I'll put this solution in the chat. So whichever editor you are using, this is the logic which you have to use. Good job. Now, the next thing that I wanted to explain you, the next thing that I wanted to cover with you is a concept of comments. In Python program, whenever you want to put a comment, a single line comment or a multi-line comment, you can put it like this. What is the benefit of the comment? It helps to make your program readable. You know, the comment is for you. Comment is not for anybody else. Comment is for a programmer. So if you have written a line and you want to print something, you can put a comment after it. For example, I can say this line is printing blah, 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 something. So you can give a single line comment like this, and you can also add a multi-line comment in Python like this, multi-line comment. Okay. Can we everybody incorporate this? Everybody's clear. Neha clear, Peta clear. Good. So comment is only for the programmer, only for the programmer, no other purpose. Whatever you write in the comment is ignored. Now, the other thing that I wanted to cover, let me put these notes also in the chat for you. Neha, thank you for confirming. Now, there is a concept of a variable. When we talk about a variable, variable is nothing but something which stores the value. So if I say name is equal to Rohan, this is a variable. If you put this print name like this, it will print name, that is NAME. But if you print it like this, it will print the value of the name. Name is a variable, it is storing something, and Rohan is a constant value. In programming languages, the constant value is assigned to the variable. Always remember, constant is assigned to the variable. In this case, only name will be printed. In this case, the value. I give you 1 minute to try this. Everybody try this. It's very logical. Anything within the double quotations gets printed as it is. Can you try it once? And write done in the chat if you have, before I go to selection statements. Excellent. I can see a lot of dones. Good job, everybody. Good job. Thank you so much. So you agree with me that when you are printing something in a string way, it will be printed as it is. But if you're printing the variable, it is going to print the value. Okay. Now in Python, you can make as many variables. In any language, you can make as many variables. You can have a variable like age is equal to 60. You could have salary is equal to a decimal number, right? Something like this. You could have a result value which could be true or false. You can say true. Do you agree with me? Okay. So anything which I'm highlighting, this one with red color is a variable. You are putting something inside this. Anything which I'm highlighting in yellow, these are constant values, fixed values. And in all programming languages, there is also something which is called as a data type. What do we understand by the word data type? Data type tells us what kind of data we are storing. Data type will tell me what is the data that I am storing. So if it is an integer value, you will be using the data type called as int. When I'm making a variable, when I'm storing a data which is decimal, I will be having a data type float. So for this one, I will have str. For this one, I will have int. For this one, I will have a data type called as float. Okay, for this one, the data type is bool. So data type is going to tell us what kind of data we are actually storing. I'm going to put this in the chat, everybody, and I'm going to now make a quick calculator in Python and show it to you. And I'll request all of you to also make that calculator. Are we all ready? Can you write ready in the chat if you are? All everybody is ready? So what do you think will be the output of this program, everyone? I'm saying num1 is equal to 10, num2 is equal to 20, print sum is equal to num1 plus num2. Then I say print sum of two numbers is sum. So the output of this program will be sum of the two numbers is 30. All of you agree with me? Similarly, if I want to create a product, the difference, the multiplication, anything which I want to do, I can do that very, very easily, very, very easily. I can take another variable called difference. I can say difference is num1 minus num2. And I can say print the difference of two numbers is, what should be the variable name I will be using? Anybody who can help me here? Very good. I will be using, what is the variable name that I use here to print the difference? Who can answer? Difference, Nagasai. Very good. So you will say difference. Very good. See how easy it is? Right? Thank you, everybody. That is difference. Good job. How easy was it? Similarly, I'll say product is equal to num1 multiply with num2. And when I say print, product of two numbers is, and then I say comma product. What it will give me? It will give me the multiplication result. Can you all try this? I'm going to put this in the chat now. Try this program, each one of you. And if you have not understood, let me know. I'm hopeful that everybody will understand this program. So that's how the concept of variables, constants work. And in all the programming languages, we do have a concept of selection statements, something which can help us make the decisions, right? So for example, if I had num1 is equal to 10, I had num2 is equal to 20. And if I'm checking if num1 is less than num2, I would say print num1. There will be few assignments which we will be giving you around this. We can say num1 is smaller, right? Then I can say elif num1 is greater than num2. I'll say print num2 is greater, num1 is greater. See that? We could say else. And what can I say in the else block? I can say print they are equal. So that is how you can make decisions. Right, Sam? So what will be the output of this program, everybody, when I run this program? This is a concept of selection statement. This is how you can make decisions in Python. This is how the decisions can be made in Python. Okay, just before I give you some other exercises, I'll put this in the chat. I just want to cover a few topics and then I will explain it to you. The other thing that very commonly which is used in Python is the concept of loops, iterations. What is the benefit of loops? It helps you to do something again and again over the period of time. So for example, I can have a loop. I say for I in range 1, 10, and I can put a colon. Yes, while there can be a while loop, there can be a for loop. And any loop that you are using, how it works, first of all, it will initialize the value. Always remember, first of all, I will become 1, right? Is 1 less than 10? Yes. Then it comes inside. It prints I. Now, I is like a variable here. It will print 1. The loop will start again. It will start again. That's the benefit of a loop. It keeps going again and again. Correct, Tej. Or you've already guessed the output. I is equal to 1. 1 less than 10, it prints 1. Starts again. I becomes 2. 2 less than 10, it prints 2. It goes up again. 3. 3 less than 10. Yes, it prints 3. And because it is checking for less than, it will stop at the number 9. Which number will it stop? It will stop at the number 9. Okay, is it fine, everybody? Can you all try this program quickly? And let me know if it works. Let's try it. Okay, you try the for loop. And then there is one more loop that I'll show you, which is while. It works exactly the same way. It will check the condition. If the condition is true, it will print the value of I. and then it can increment also like this. See, it can increment the value. I in range 1 comma 10, print I is equal to 0. While 0 is less than 10, it will print the value of I is equal to I plus 1. So that is how selection statements and loops works. And as I said, Python is one of those amazing languages which can be used in the data science because there are so wonderful concepts in Python, right? Python has extensive libraries. What is library? Library is a group of inbuilt functions. So do while loop is not there in Python page, but the other loops are there. Excellent. I can see many of us have tried. So let me give you one quick exercise. As I said, I want everybody to do these exercises on your own. I want you to all enjoy programming. So this is the next exercise, month exercise. You have to take the input from the user and print the month. Okay, give it a try, everyone. So there is a way in which you can take the input from the user. Okay, let me show you the program. So guys, I'm putting this answer in the chat. What do you think it will do? Everybody execute this, hurry up. Just execute this. So you will agree with me, it is taking an input from the user, whatever input you have taken, it is comparing it. If the month is 1, see, I'll show you when I run this program, when I execute it, if I say 1, it will say January. Can you do the same thing for February, March, April, everybody? I give you 2 minutes. So you will agree with me that all of you will put some more conditions. You can say month double equal to 2, print. What you will say, print? Month is February. See how quickly you can do these things once you've understood them. So I'm not expecting you all to be expert in programming, but at least that understanding of things, is what we are targeting. So all of you try this, tell me your program and quickly copy paste and do it for all the months. Let me see who's giving me the answer. Kavita, please put your answer in the chat. Good job. All those who have done for all the months, put it in the chat. Coding is fun. All you have to do is just copy and paste it. For now, print 4th month. Everybody knows it's April. Ajit done, Shyam done. Put your solutions in the chat. Let me have a look what you've done. April, then May, then June, all those things you can do, right? Okay, so this will be your first assignment. Try to finish this month exercise. I'll put whatever I've done in the chat, but you will agree with me that you have to do for all the months, right? Now what we are going to do is one more. Let's try one more program. A certain cinema sells ticket for £6 for full price. But if it is people who are less than 16-year-old, half the price. For people who are 60-year-old, 1/3 of the price. And then you have to ask the input from the user and you need to tell the ticket cost. Algorithm, think. So switch, Monica, switch is not in Python. So maybe you cannot use switch. You can use if else only. Okay. Let me see who can give me the answer for this program. So certain cinema is selling ticket for full price, £6. But let's say if it is people who are less than a particular age, it will be different price. For 1/3, it will be different price. Do you agree with me that first of all, you have to take the input from the user as the age? So you will say int input, you will say, please enter your age, right? Once you have taken the input, what you are going to check, if age is greater than 60, then in that case, many times when you go to cinema theaters and all, you will see that they have different ticket prices for different ages, or when you go to theater, different prices are there. So try on these lines, everybody. If age is greater than 60, you will have a different condition. Age is less than 16, different condition, isn't it? All right, everybody, is that clear? So age is greater than 60, maybe ticket price is £2, let's say. Okay. If the age is less than 16, and ideally always try to use a else if condition. Okay, it's better because it gets executed efficiently. £3. And otherwise the age, if whatever age is there, you have to pay full £6. Now tell me how difficult was to do this? Right, I can see many of the programs have come in the chat. That shows you guys are catching up. Good. So is programming fun? Write in the chat, guys, if you feel programming is fun. Neha, your program is correct. I've seen that. So see, we just had an hour or so, right? And we've been able to at least write few lines on our own. It's okay if some of you have not been able to, right? That's absolutely okay. Imagine how much confidence you've got at the end of an hour or a half coding. Imagine how much confidence you will get if you persistently do it. Isn't it, everyone? Excellent. Good. Let me give you one different challenge this time. And that is, I have lots of challenges. As I said, no, I have no limit to challenges. What will be the output of this program? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you have to print it and I say you have to do it with loops, for loop and while loop, how can you do it? Who wants to try this program? 0 to 9. Range function. Okay, please write the programs in the chat. Excellent. You can use J, you can use I, you can use any variable here. I'm so happy to see some of you have tried this program. Let me put this in the chat for all of you and let me show you. So here we had to use a loop. Remember, Python is a case sensitive language, everybody. If you have to write small, you have to write small. For I in range, you had to start from which number here? Just notice, observe, 0. So if you have to start from 0, you should be starting from 0. 0, comma, you will go till which number? Let's say you want to go till 10, 9. You will go till 10. After 10, you will put a colon and print. Chandu, print P will be small. Okay. And here you will print I. It's a loop. It has a tendency to go on and on. First of all, I is equal to 0. 0 is less than 10. It comes inside, it prints I. I 0. Start again. I will become 1. It will print 1. Start again. It will become 2. 2 is less than 10. It will print 2. Then it will start again. It will print 3. Then it will print 4, 5, 6. Like this, it will go on. Is this clear? Any questions anybody has? And like you are, here it's printing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can also give step counts. If you give 2, it will start printing even numbers. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So that is because this step count is there. Oh my God, there are so many things that I have to cover and so many things I can cover. Time is the problem. But yeah, coming to whatever we have covered, do you think That confidence is coming that you will be able to do programming? Or does it look very hard? You can honestly put hard if you felt that it was very hard. But all those who felt you can do it, it's easy, please put easy in the chat. Python is one of those languages, everybody, which is easy to pick up, very easy to pick up. Okay, it's and one of the very strong languages from data science point of view. And you will agree with me, that across the globe, this language is being used. Okay, makes sense, everybody. So it's not difficult. Thank you all for putting word easy here. So we looked briefly into how we can print in Python. Very short time we tried to summarize how we can use variable, constant data types. Then we talked about the selection statements. After covering the selection statements, very quickly we moved on to the next concept where we tried to deep dive into the loops. Again, very briefly. And once the loops were done, we then tried to understand the different libraries. Is comparing to C language, Sham, very good as compared to C language, C++, Java, Ruby, R, all these languages, Python is one of the very easy languages. And as I said, it doesn't mean that this is not very powerful. It's easy, but powerful language. Okay. And I'm glad that all of you have been able to write. If you were able to write even one program in the class today, I'm more than happy because all of you were using online editors today, right? So immediately, as I said, this workshop is going to give you a very good start. I'm very confident that many of you have now got that confidence of writing the program on your own. So complete your setups and ensure that you all have practiced all these programs. Okay. All right. Any questions anybody has? We'll have to stop because of the time. As I said, Python is like ocean. We can go on and on. Any doubts or questions? Okay, no questions. All right, then. Thank you all for your time. The association was very small today, but I think I wish you all the good luck for your near future. And then hopefully our roads meet again. We catch up soon. And you are part of our training, right? Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your time. Good luck.